Mascots have been around for quite a while. They are usually used to represent schools and hype up fans at sporting events. Some are comical, some religious, and some are aggressive. The top 10 most commonly used mascot names are eagles, tigers, cougars, bulldogs, warriors, lions, panthers, Indians, wildcats, and bears. While majority of the mascots are animals, it is quite striking to see the Indians as one of the only non-animal singled-out ethnic group used as mascots. What impression is this supposed to make on the American Indian community? For centuries, American Indians had been uncomfortable being present at sporting events where their culture would be mocked for entertainment purposes. While watching Indian mascots perform at games, one of the most striking things toward the American Indian community is the misrepresentation of Indians. One of the most highly used objects to represent Indians would be the headdress, but as stated by the Native Languages of the Americas nonprofit organization, American Indians in most tribes never used headdresses like these. Certain misrepresentations such as this are used throughout the United States, which reinforces the exception of using stereotypes to represent certain ethnic groups, as well as teaching students along with younger children that it is okay to stereotype. Some typical names used to represent sports teams are the Braves, the Chiefs, the Indians, and the Redskins. The history behind the term Redskins doesn't just mean the color of American Indian skin. As stated by the Students and Teachers Against Racism organization, the word redskin derived from the practice of skinning Indians for easy transport when collecting bounty. The skin was removed from the top of the back and ran all the way down the legs. These skins were used for products such as reins, boots, belts, pouches, and more. Andrew Jackson, who was one of the worst enemies of the Native people and by far the most brutal president towards Native people, collected the noses of every Indian he killed and encouraged the practice of skinning. Native people are not red. Mostly, they range from tan to brown. Red skin comes from bloody skin. Knowing the history behind the term redskin, how is the usage of this term as a mascot supposed to make American Indians feel? Not only does the usage of American Indian names honor the Indians, but also causes negative portrayals as well as the abuse of American Indians as mascots. This competitive fan holding up a sign to sculpt the Indians shows a clear example of negative portrayals due to the usage of American Indians as mascots. Yet again is another negative portrayal and results of the backlash for usage of American Indians as mascots. A t-shirt depicting an American Indian having sexual intercourse with a bison. Is this considered honoring the American Indians anymore? Instead of honoring the American Indians, there is a backlash affecting the Indian community and a downgrade in their identity.
To me, is degrading. It's kind of offensive. It's not kind of. It is. It's offensive in the mascot thing.
It's what happens when you have these mascots and these names, when it triggers all the other ridiculous antics which demean, degrade, and belittle a living people's culture and spiritual way of life.
So when Redskins fans decide to go all out, such as this individual, it almost seems not only are they supporting their sports team, but it also seems like they are appropriating the violence towards the American Indians that went behind this term. As quoted by the Students and Teachers Against Racism nonprofit organization, many Native children are embarrassed to attend games. The woo-woo sounds, the face paint, the misuse of sacred feathers all cause embarrassment to Native people. Back in the 1920s through the late 1970s, it had been illegal for Native people to practice their religion. They were forbidden to use their spiritual and sacred objects in ceremonies. Yet in these sporting events, the same exact sacred objects such as the headdress and the drums are used to mock American Indian culture. By using objects considered sacred by Native people for sports events in this land based on religious freedom, we continue to deny Native people respect for their religion. The usage of American Indians as mascots teaches the acceptance of stereotypes, trivializes American Indian traditions, and encourages negative American Indian imagery. If schools are emphasizing how they want to honor American Indians, they should start honoring them by listening and respecting their wishes that American Indians are people, not mascots.